Hello and welcome to Saint Andrew Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. This is online lecture series, and in this section we are discussing geomatics and aerial surveying, which is in your fourth semester. I am Rohit Raj, and this is second lecture in the series. Today we are going to discuss topic triangulation. Before this, in our very first lecture, we have discussed trilateration. Okay, so let's start. Before this, I quickly remind you about trilateration. Basically, in trilateration, we'll uh, calculate each sides by measurement, and then we can determine the included angles for each triangle that will divide it area into different triangles. Why do we divide area into different set of triangles? To make ourselves work easily while surveying. Okay, now before starting the triangulation process, first we discuss what is azimuth. As it also came in our previous lecture, and I briefly described there that it is the relative position of a point with respect to the actual north. Now you would understand this easily. Basically, this term is generally used when we are in astronomical surveying, or when we are uh, discussing about stars and celestial objects. Okay, so there the term azimuth arises. Basically, azimuth is the horizontal angle between the vertical projection of any point that is in space. If its vertical position arises here, that means at the ground here, then the angle from the actual north to that point is the azimuth. Suppose a point is here, suppose it is a star, so it is located here. When its projection will be coming here, down here, then the angle between these two, the projection of that star which is here somewhere here, and the projection will come here, so the angle between this point and the actual north will be the azimuth. Okay. Now, why do we need this? We can also calculate the angle between this and this directly. So for the high accuracy level, we'll calculate both angles separately, and this one is azimuth as the horizontal angle between the actual north and the projection of point on the surface. Okay. Now, other angle, that is this angle, it will be like this angle. Okay, we'll see in the coming slides. Okay, other angle will be its altitude. Okay, so let's come. We'll go by definition. Azimuth is the angle between the north vector. Okay, azimuth is the angle between the north vector and the perpendicular projection. Okay, perpendicular projection of this point, okay, down the horizon. Means if its perpendicular position will be like here. Okay, so azimuth is what? Angle between this north to this point, that is its perpendicular projection to the horizon. Okay, azimuth is usually measured in degrees. The concept is used in navigation, astronomy, engineering, mapping, mining, and artillery. Okay, so I already told you that it is used in basically astronomy purposes, but also in mapping, mining, and artillery and navigation purposes also we use them. Okay, so basically azimuth is nothing but a measurement of horizontal angle of something when it is projected perpendicular down to the horizon. Okay, now let's come to another point, that azimuth is angular measurement in spherical coordinate system. Once we'll start our lecture series in astronomy topic, then we will understand what is spherical coordinate system. Basically, I would say just that in astronomy, we'll study the stars and the other celestial objects, and they are not measured in normal coordinate system that we use, Cartesian coordinate system. They are not measured in that coordinate system. We use spherical coordinate system, in which the triangles are joined. uh, they are not of straight line, they are curved lines. Okay, so we'll study that angular spherical coordinate system, and there it is used in there we use the term azimuth to measure the angle. Okay, now an example is a portion of star in the sky. Okay, basic example is that if a star is present in sky, okay, the star is the point of interest. The reference plane is the horizon or the surface of the sea, and the reference vector point is north. Okay, so now we all know that in survey we have three things. One is uh, uh, point of interest. What is that? Uh, we are observing something, that is our point of interest. Suppose we are observing a tower, a building, or any construction site. So that is our point of interest. Second thing is that uh, reference plane. Okay, where we gonna discuss that? Okay, if suppose horizontal plane is our reference plane, means suppose we are plotting a diagram into a sheet, then on which plane we are plotting, that is our reference plane. And third is reference vector point. Generally in angle measurement, the reference vector point is north. Okay, so here also we'll assume reference vector point as north. Now, azimuth is the angle between north vector and perpendicular projection of the star. Okay, azimuth is the angle between north vector and perpendicular projection of star into the horizon. Okay, again and again same thing. Azimuth is the perpendicular projection of star down into the horizon. Azimuth is generally measured in degrees. We all know this. Okay, it is measured in degree, and this concept is used in navigation, astronomy, engineering, mapping, and mining, as discussed earlier. Okay, you just keep this in mind, that what is azimuth? If this star is here and its projection will be down the horizon, it should be here. Okay, so this point and this point, the angle between these two is azimuth. Similarly, the angle between this point and this point is altitude. When the angle between the projection on the horizon and the actual star or actual location of point that is in space for a moment, so this angle will be its altitude. Okay, here you can view this angle. Okay, this one is azimuth, that is from north to its vertical projection, and this angle that is here from, okay, from here to here, this is its altitude. Okay, this one is azimuth and this one is altitude. This one is azimuth. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now let's begin with triangulation and its purposes. Okay, and its principles. It is the process of measuring the angle of a chain or a network of triangles. Okay, what is triangulation? It is process of measuring angles of a series of triangles or network of triangle or chain of triangles. Okay, what we are going to measure? We are going to measure angles, but as compared to trilateration, there no measurement or only a few angles are measured, that too only for cross checking. Okay, so this is basic difference told so many times. Okay, formed by stations marked marked on the surface of earth. Okay, network of triangles. Why do we need network of triangles? This is a matter of concern. Why do we need network of triangles? But you just keep this in mind, that triangular shapes are best to minimize error, and they are easy to calculate the easy to use trigonometric relations also. Okay, therefore we use triangular division of area. Okay, so we divide our region into network of triangles. Now the system consists of a number of interconnected triangles in which the length of only baseline, okay, up this point is really important, the length of only baseline is measured and the angles of the triangle are measured very precisely. Now what do you mean by precisely? Suppose we measure any angle that is, its value is around 20 degree, 30 minutes and 10 seconds, but we say that the possible error is 10 minutes. Okay, then its accuracy is not that high. But we measure same angle and says that accuracy, its possible error is 2 seconds, 1 second, then its accuracy is definitely very much high. Okay, so basically accuracy or precisely means that the chances of error, okay, least least should be least. Okay, so there we can use the word precisely. Now then we use them to calculate the coordinate of vertices. As discussed earlier, how we are calculating the vertices in case of trilateration. We have two known points and we measure uh, all the sides of triangle, and then we are able to find the coordinates of vertices, okay, in trilateration. Now we'll see, we'll do the same job using triangulation processes. We'll see in the coming diagram. Okay, let's see here. This we have known position and known position. Okay, now we have the measured angle, this one, and also these angles are measured. Now if we have a known position and a measured angle, then we can what, we can calculate the this distance, okay, and also this distance. Okay, similarly we'll proceed. Okay, once we have these distance using our trigonometric relations, then we can easily calculate the coordinates of these vertices. Again, when we are having this angle, this side, then we can calculate these sides also, these sides also. Once we are known with these values, then we'll able to calculate the coordinates of these points. Okay, and remember, this is not that much accurate as trilateration. Okay, so triangulation is not as accurate as trilateration, but still we use them frequently because this is relatively more easier because it includes less field work. Okay, and we all know that field jobs are quite difficult. Same thing we can do in our labs using the trigonometric relations, but yes, our accuracy hampers. Okay, so we do our work faster with less manpower, but yes, precision is reduced. Now you can understand clearly how it is being done. It's quite obvious that one point we know, other point we know, then we can know also the distance between them. We measure the angles, okay, and once we know sides and angles, then we can calculate other sides using the relation cosine rule. Okay, so using them we'll calculate these sides and then we'll proceed in the similar manner for further same steps. Okay, so we have here length of line AB. Okay, this one known. Okay, altitude, latitude and longitude of point A and B, these points are known. Okay, these points are known. Now azimuth of line AB, we are known with this angle also AB and line AB. Now we have to, we measure the angle to the control point. So we measure all the angles and then we calculate the point C. There it is. We calculate the point C or the new points required. Okay, so will be able to calculate them using basic trigonometric relations. Okay. Principle of triangulation. Okay. What is principle of triangulation? If all the three angles and the length of one side of a triangle are known, then by trigonometry, the length of remaining sides of the triangle can be calculated. I'm explaining this again and again that in triangulation, we measure only one side and then using the trigonometric relation, we'll calculate other sides. Okay. And the sides whose length is measured, that is baseline. Okay. What is baseline? Basically, in our survey, we generally name baseline, that is longest line in the series. Okay, that is longest line in the traverse. So we measure baseline and the angles, and with the help of trigonometric relation we calculate the remaining sides. Okay, so now you completely understand triangulation. Again, if the coordinates of any vertex of the triangle and azimuth of any side are also known, then coordinates of the remaining vertices may be computed. Yes, of course. If coordinate of any vertex of triangle, suppose we know all the lengths of sides and we know one coordinate and all angles, all azimuths, then we are able to we are able to find the coordinates of remaining vertices. Okay, yes, we are able to find the coordinates. Suppose we know them, this a, b and other lengths. Here you can also visualize easily that if we know the coordinate of this point and also this length and these angles, then we can locate these now. Then we can look at this coordinate and this coordinate using basic trigonometric relations. We know the distance from here to here and the angle also. So we can transform them. We can locate the perpendicular distance and then we can find the coordinates there, and we can similarly do for x-axis and y-axis. So we'll easily find the coordinates of other points if we have coordinate of one single point. Okay, so we can find the coordinates of other using the azimuth and the length of sides of each triangle. Okay, these two principles. Okay, now you are aware with them. What are they? Length of other sides can be calculated using trigonometric relation. They are not calculated by measuring in field, but they are calculated using trigonometric relation. And second thing is that if azimuth of any sides and the coordinate of any vertex of triangle is known, then the coordinate of remaining vertices is calculated. Now, background of triangulation. In survey, after establishment of monuments, it is necessary to determine the ground position. Okay, it is very basic thing to determine its ground position. That is coordinates of those monument stations which prevent the accumulation of errors. Okay, and will form a framework on which the entire survey is to be based. This is called control point establishment. Suppose we have any monuments, okay, then we have to determine its ground position. Okay, and why it is required, what's its purpose? It is only required to prevent the accumulation of error if the entire survey is to be made. So we have to find the ground position of it. Okay, and this is also called as control point establishment. Okay, such provision of control point can be made either one or combination of both two methods. Okay, and these control point establishment can be done using either traversing or triangulation. Okay, so in case of triangulation, triangulation is considered to be more accurate than traversing, as there is less accumulation of error than in traversing. Okay, why triangulation is preferred in case of control point establishment is that triangulation is considered to be more accurate than traversing, as there is less accumulation of errors than in traversing. Okay, you got my point. Now you can clearly see this is baseline. This will measure and also will measure these angles. Okay, once we are known with them, then we can easily find the length of these sides. Okay, one or two point that might have that is important. Okay, so we'll discuss again. In triangulation, all three angles of each triangle are measured in the field along with one baseline. Okay, this one is really important. I'm discussing this again and again. All three angles, and this is really interesting that if you measure two angles of a triangle, then third angle is automatically known to you. If it is not that, then there must be some errors. Okay, but still we have to measure all three angles and along with a baseline. The side of first triangle whose length is to be determined, which is predetermined, is called the baseline. Okay, the side whose length is known to us earlier, or whose length is given to us, or whose length we are taking as reference, that is called as baseline. And the vertices of individual triangle that are known as triangulation station. Okay, and sorry, and the vertices of these this side are known as triangulation station. Okay, the whole figure is called as the triangulation system or triangulation figure, and the whole figure is called triangulation figure. The length and azimuth of each line is based on the the length and azimuth of each line is based on the length and azimuth of preceding line. Basically, this is sequence of triangles. So once we are known with the each length of sides, then the for coming triangles it would be easier. Suppose in this diagram, once we are known with this length and this length, then only we can proceed with the calculation of these lengths. Okay, so this one is explained here. Okay, the length and azimuth of each line is based on the length and azimuth of preceding line. Okay, to minimize the accumulation of error in lengths, subsidiary bases at suitable intervals are provided. And to minimize the error accumulation, what we do is that we provide subsidiary bases. Okay, subsidiary bases means we provide baselines in intermediate calculations. Okay, that can reduce the error accumulation. Okay, control errors in azimuth of station. Astronomical observations are made at intermediate stations. Okay, we have to control the errors in azimuth of station. Yes, of course. This is really important in triangulation, as because with the help of uh, azimuths, we determine the sides apart from the baseline. Okay, so if there is some error in the azimuths, then these error will carry forward to the lengths of side and similarly further calculations. Therefore, we have to check with the errors in azimuth. The triangulation stations at which astronomical observations for the azimuths are made are called Laplace stations. Okay, the station at which astronomical observations for azimuths are made, where azimuths are calculated, that are called Laplace stations. Okay, you have to keep them in mind. What are Laplace stations? They triangulation stations where astronomical observations are made to calculate the azimuth, that are Laplace stations. Now, how to calculate the angles with the measured side? Here, using this reason. What is this? Basically cosine formula. Okay, also this we can also, we know what is this. These relations we have studied earlier and they can be used for calculating the angles. Now, what is this? We all know this. What is this? This is Hero's formula. Okay, why it is required? If we have the length of all the three sides in a triangle, then we can find the area of that triangle using this formula, where S is the semi-perimeter and A, B and C are the length of sides. Okay, so this is called Hero's formula, and using this we can find the area of a triangle. So these are required while calculating the area of a triangulated or uh, trilaterated region. Now, what are the purpose of triangulation survey? These are basic functions or jobs performed using triangulation survey. First, establishment of accurate control. Okay, accurate control point for plane and geodetic surveys as large areas by ground methods. Okay, it is a ground method for establishing a control point. As we have studied also why we require triangulation surveys for establishing a control point. Now, also, these are required for establishing a control point for photogrammetric survey. We'll study in our fifth unit or fourth unit, I guess. Yes, it is in fourth unit, photogrammetric survey. There also we need triangulation survey. Okay, for establishing a ground control point. Okay. Also, we need it in engineering works and fixing the central line, terminal points, and shafts for long tunnel. Okay, central line fixation, terminal points, and shafts for long tunnels. They are required. Okay, fixing central line and abutments for long bridges. There also we need triangulation survey. Transferring the control point across wide sea channel. Okay, also transferring the control point. We also use this in our seaway. Okay, we also use them in seaways while we transfer the control point from the sewage system to the ground. Now, finding the direction of movements of cloud. There we also use triangulation survey. Okay, now you understand why we use triangulation survey. So, okay, this much here we'll stop here and we'll discuss further in our coming lectures. Till now, what we have studied is basics of trilateration. Then we have seen the concept of azimuths, and then we studied about triangulation. In our coming lecture, we will differentiate between triangulation and trilateration. Then we will study the different levels of triangulation survey. Okay, basically there are three triangulation surveys, that is based upon the level of accuracy we maintain. Okay, primary, secondary, and tertiary. So we'll discuss them in coming lectures. Till now, take care and feel free to ask if there is any doubt or any problem. You can text, WhatsApp, or mail. Thank you.